introduction. You blew my trumpet far, that I told you I can't talk off the cuff, but thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. I feel truly humbled. My name is Chitiz. I'm an ex-South African, and I made Aliyah to Renana, Israel in April 87. And this was my second Aliyah to ever make with them. And I'm not leaving because I'm not doing it with them. I'm the mother of 5, Yaron, Daniel, Dovi, Yaeli, and Yaroni. And Safta Devi to Amichai, Yedidia, Haler, Erel, Yuval, Adam, and Shaya, and Yerbu. Yaroni is my last Namiki, as they say in Afrikaans. My Ben Skunim, as they say in Hebrew. And the youngest of my crew, and all grew up in Renana. When Yaroni was 4, Clive and I got divorced, and Yaroni was raised by me, together with his siblings, with so much love and care. He grew up with no conflict, and was the young brother that everyone loved. In fact, all in Renana knew and loved him and them. The Chitiz 5 were extremely close and were a model for all. I called Yaroni my lifeline, as he was born a few months before my 40th birthday. He kept me young and on my toes. He and his siblings were the fuel that kept me going as I went through one of my worst challenges, a divorce. I was so busy with them, leaving me no time to know. Yaroni was my Yelit Shopa'am, a child who loved the simple things in life, board games, family time, playing Scrabble with me on a Shabbat afternoon, singing, Israeli music, and especially the songs played on the radio on Yom HaShoah and Yom HaZikaron, time out with friends, eating and preparing food, playing soccer, watching Liverpool. He was a crazy Liverpool supporter. He loved Israel and hiking around the country. He loved FIFA soccer games, and he loved the Guinness records, which became his annual birthday present as he was born on the 2nd of January. He loved life and had the biggest smile. In his youth, he was a counselor and Bnei Akiva for children with special needs, and it was obvious to us then that he was truly gifted. It was here that we noticed his personality developing, his maturity, and his love for people. Yaroni was our masterpiece. He took the best characteristics of those who raised him and molded this into his unique personality. He truly was our masterpiece. At the age of 17, he did the Mont Blanc Trail in the mountains of Switzerland, Italy, and France. He decided overnight that he was joining his friends. He trained hard and he succeeded. Most people only do this when into their 40s. He enlisted into the army in March 2020 at the beginning of Corona, after having spent a year and a half in a military preparatory course at the Mechina in Elisha. In the army, he stood out too. His officers noticed him. He excelled in all he did and was sent on an early commander's course, and he then became a commander for the course. Thereafter, he did an officer's course. Subsequently, he was selected to be a commander of an officer's course, and finally became a deputy commander of the Shaket battalion in the Givati brigade. The 7th of October caught him in his regular army duty. He had called us to say that we should stay inside as terrorists had infiltrated into Israel. The 7th of October caught us by surprise, and from then on, our lives took on a different meaning as we learned to live in times of war, and are still living in times of war. Yaroni was sent to the battlefield, and he was proud of having the opportunity to defend Am Yisrael. For me personally, the war brought on many challenges: worry, uncertainty, anxiety, loss of appetite, and the unknown. Not being able to talk nor see Yaroni was not easy. It affected my concentration, my mood, and even my swimming. Somehow we all got used to the daily announcements of soldiers being killed, with the pictures of the fallen appearing in the daily newspapers. When sleeping at night, I kept on imagining that I was hearing knocking at my door, and I would run to check. This carried on for months, or so I thought, but in reality it wasn't even 3 months. Yaroni and many other soldiers were not allowed home during the war. Eventually, after 80 days, his unit was told they could go home for a weekend. He surprised me, and I was the happiest I'd ever been. The video of his homecoming went viral. The whole world celebrated with us, and it is this picture that Linda used for her poster.
The passport shirt and
אבל עוד לפני כן, עברו לפרסום שמותיהם של 3 חיילי.
And wow, what a weekend. He came home exhausted, dirty and hungry. Despite this, he hardly slept and made sure to do all the things that made him happy. Management of time was one of his specialities, and on this weekend he managed to fit everything in. He saw both family and friends, he played soccer, he barbecued a few times, he went to shul, he got an aliyah, he benched gomer, and in shul all sang song after song as they welcomed him home. On this Shabbat, my youngest granddaughter, Shaya, was named. And yes, the Chitiz 5 were all together again. I never realized then that those tears were happy tears. When he went back to the army on Sunday morning, I wasn't at ease. I was worried, and justly so. I am a swimmer, and on the Tuesday morning while swimming, I felt a heaviness overcome me, and I was battling to swim. While swimming, I said to myself, swim, you don't know what tomorrow will bring. On the early hours of Wednesday morning at 1:15 a.m., I heard the knocking. And this time, I never ran to the door, and then they knocked again. I realized then that our lives had changed drastically. Yaron was killed that Tuesday evening at 7 p.m., 1 week before his 24th birthday, and the Hutala Pirsum was announced on the 6 o'clock news on Wednesday morning, December the 27th.
Tamar, you can just make it loud in the corner, please? There's a volume button. In the corner, just to make the volume a bit louder.
צה"ל שנפלו ביממה החולפת בצפון רצועת עזה. סרן ירון אליעזר צ'יטיז, בן 23 מרעננה, סגן מפקד פלגה בחטיבת גבעתי.
In battle, Yaron saved an entire unit as the terrorists were on their way down to his Chitiz unit when they confronted him. He was killed together with 2 other soldiers, Yaron and Yaron. Yaron's from Efrat. My biggest concern was whether he had suffered. We are told that from the magnitude of his wounds, he probably lost consciousness very quickly. And if so, then he probably didn't suffer. And this we only found out 2 weeks ago. We thought he had been shot in the head, it wasn't. He was shot 4 times in different places. With all internal wounds, so you couldn't see, so he looked beautiful. I've learned to look for the gratitude in my crazy situation. We can't question why Yaron was killed. And despite our worst nightmare, I can still be grateful for numerous things. He wasn't taken hostage. As an elite unit managed to retrieve his body after a 4-hour battle. The person who retrieved his body...
It's a Hoffman. It's a Hoffman.
And he was killed a month after. Yaron's whole body came home, and this also enabled us to donate some of his organs. We were able to see him, touch him, and say goodbye to him. At Shura, which is where the bodies are prepared for burial, we sang, or should I say try to sing, Hamalach HaGoeloti. This is a song that is sung at night to children before they go to sleep. The ironic coincidence is that this song appeared in the Parashat HaTorah, Parashat Vayechi, the week that he was killed. We are also extremely grateful that his phone survived the battle. He left a letter for the family, which he had written on his phone. I never realized then that not every soldier comes home like this. And so once again I say how grateful I am. He had a proper burial, and this too is not to be taken for granted. Through my personal pain, I've learned so much. The gratitude and privilege of being a mom to such a special human being. One who was the glue in so many circles. He held us all together and was way mature beyond his almost 24 years. He was dedicated and motivated and caring. He loved everybody. His older siblings looked up to the younger brother. He was great in life and even more so in death, as we learn more and more of his special character. I have been challenged so many times in my life. This was certainly the worst. And yet I have immense strength. Not sure where I get it all from, but I've managed to hold myself together. So what gives me the drive and motivation to keep on moving forward? The water, my family, and my faith. And yes, the order does change. When going through the challenges of my divorce and my subsequent illness, I took to the water to save my soul. I joined a master swimming group and started swimming. I participated in national and international swimming competitions. I was gutsy. I wasn't fast enough, but I was determined. Slowly but surely I started improving. And then I attended my first open water swimming camp, and this opened a new door for me. I'm now officially a marathon swimmer. I've completed the long cross of the Kinneret 3 times. This is a difficult 20.5-kilometer swim. At one of my swims in May 22, Yaron surprised me as he arrived at the finish. He was serving in the south of the country, and he took whatever transport he could to get me to the north, to get to me in the north. He literally spent the whole day traveling to give me his gorgeous bear hug, and he then had to return to his base. I'll never forget his excitement as well as mine, and now when I look back, I say, wow. All my swimming is now dedicated to Yaron, and I have a customized swimming camp. I wrote here camp, but it's camp. The slogan, you'll never swim alone. This was adapted from the Liverpool, you will never walk alone. In the last 20 months, a few swims were arranged in his honor. A 3-kilometer swim at the Tel Baruch beach, where 240 swimmers took part. It was free, you just had to arrive. We were expecting about 100. At this swim, a huge Magen David was created with all the swimmers. At the start of the swim, we all went into the water while keeping the shape of the Magen David. This Magen David, which was filmed by a drone, was chosen to be in the National Library last year. Should be the next video. I just press start, it doesn't matter if it's still... Oh yeah, that's it. Okay, yeah.
משחק מרגש במיוחד. ירון צ'יטיז, זיכרונו לברכה, שנהרג בקרבות בעזה לפני חצי שנה. אנחנו רואים את המגן דוד כאן, שנוצר מגן דוד אנושי עם 200 שחיינים. מדובר כאן על שחיינים שהגיעו כולם בעקבות היוזמה של אמא שלו, דבי. היא גם בעצמה שחיינית מקצועית, והם הגיעו לכאן, אנחנו נראה את הסרטון שמראה ממש איך יצרו את המגן דוד, גם לזכרו, לזכר כל הנופלים, וגם כמובן למען החטופים והשחרור שלהם והעלאת המודעות. ותראו כמה שזה יפה, מרגש, מצטלם מרחפן, חוף תל ברוך, תל אביב, וכמובן גם אחרי זה נכנסו למים, מאוד מאתגר לשמור על המבנה הזה, וזה עוד דוגמה לכוח, לעוצמה, אנחנו יכולים לראות את זה ממש ככה, עם כל המשמעות של זה.
A 12-kilometer swim with 100 swimmers. Here you did have to register. We swam from Herzliya to Tel Aviv. The distance was meant to be 24, which I had chosen because of the age which he was almost at when he was killed. But both the war and the tide never allowed us to do the full distance. Then the long cross of the Kinneret on May the 26th, where I swam together with my tandem partner, Anat Ishtar. Eddie was our support on the boat, and we wouldn't have managed without her. She took care of us, fed us, encouraged us, didn't let us rest too much, made us swim. I was on a high with all of these swims. So many swimmers, so many volunteers, all there to give us support. Just as our first year of mourning for Yaron was coming to an end, I once again took upon another challenge. I applied with Anat to swim the Elite 20 Bridges Manhattan Island swim. This is a 46-kilometer swim in the East Harlem and Hudson Rivers, where you swim under the 20 bridges. We are both Israeli, females, and not very young, and I presume that was a draw card for the New York Open Water Committee. We got accepted, and the rest is history. We swam on July the 27th in a time of 9 hours. During the swim we ate, but as with all official swims, you eat while treading water, and you cannot hold on to the boat or anybody or anything. We each had a kayak at our side, and our support boat followed from behind. My sister Tracy, who lives in the States, was on the support boat. There should be a video of it's not this one. Yeah.
No, it's a Kinneret. It's a
Kinneret. And then there's another one of the...
Will be the next one.
Okay. We'll just carry on. This is at the end. You can see I'm finished. And I don't remember feeling so finished, but the swimming looks terrible. That's our night. This is New York. This is finishing at Rio A. In the rough water, as you can see. And as I realize it's the end, I start sprinting. And I'm going to overtake her. With Yaron's flag on the kayak. Here I go. dirty. Freezing. No, it wasn't freezing, but it was dirty.
Yeah. You gonna blow a whistle though?
Keep going! Go, 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 go! Yes! Woo-hoo! Yes! Woo-hoo!